Today's show is sponsored by libertarian conspiratorial fantasy author Jack Casey. Whether you're looking for a 3-book fantasy sci-fi epic of love, death, and dystopian civil war like the Royal Green series, or just looking for a quick, dark, comedic cultural commentary tale about a transsexual slayer of COVID regime vampires, like his latest book, WVW, Jack Casey Books will keep you adequately entertained and pondering the universe to your weird little heart's content. He's the Ayn Rand meets Stephanie Meyer meets somebody who actually writes entertaining books with his own unique little downer-esque flair. Find out more about Jack Casey Books at the aptly named jackcaseybooks.com. Once again, that is jackcaseybooks.com. Have you guys heard of Matt Miller? He's not only the guy who paints those amazing portraits of all your favorite heroes in the liberty movement and in pop culture, but he's also now an official sponsor of this show. From Murray Rothbard to Ron Paul, Dr. Robert Malone to Darth Maul, Matt Miller's Liberty Portraits has something fun for everyone to spice up your home or office and showcase your heroes. Go check out his incredible work at libertyportraits.com. Grab a print to impress your friends, hire him for a custom portrait, or bring him out to a festival to capture your event in real life in a beautiful and unique way. To find out more, just head over to libertyportraits.com. Once again, that is libertyportraits.com. Oh, yeah. What's up? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the least comfortable show on the web. The system is down, where we talk about all the uncomfortable topics. And my good lordy, we've got a whole lot of uncomfortable topics today, a whole lot of things to talk about, a whole lot of things in the news. We're going to roast it. We're going to roast all of it. We're going to watch it burn. We're going to laugh at it. Good old hearty chuckle together. Here in just a moment. Before we do, let's roll this intro, get you all spiced up and excited, revved up and ready to go. While this intro plays, you're familiar with it. You can have it playing in the background. While you're listening to that and getting pumped up, go out and share the show. Like the show. Do the things now so we can boost this party and overcome the YouTube algorithm that loves us so much. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get weird.
We have to give these bastards our lives. We give them hell before we do.
The tragedy of our day is the climate of fear in which we live.
Talking about the Salomon Brothers building collapsing.
I would ask the congressman to withdraw that comment and tell us that he really means that.
Half a shot before what I call nasty.
I don't know what I said. I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
The Bible commands that certain people be put to death.
Thieves were possessing weapons of mass destruction. 9/11 attacks were carried out by Al Qaeda.
Handle the truth. I remember that with that smoke. We are still here.
We have to say yes to social justice.
Imagine what you know tomorrow.
It's a big club, and you ain't in it.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Hang on. Sorry, Jack. No, I'm not playing your ad there. That was a press of the wrong button. And I'm not sure what button even did that, because no button is even synced up to... Whatever. Hey, guys. This is the show. Super professional. As you can tell, the place where we do all the things. You know them. Go check out Jack Casey's books and stuff, because he feels like it's really important. And he feels like it's so important that he would have sponsors. He would sponsor this show. In such the generous and loving way that Jack Casey did. So go check out Jack Casey at jackcaseybooks.com, but I'm not playing your ad right now. That was a mistake. What's up, guys? This is another Wednesday. Happy hump day to you all. It is a beautiful, sunny, shining, wonderful, beautiful day for me here. Things aren't all that sunny all around the world, and we're going to get into them. We're going to talk about all the downer things that are going on in the world, and we're gonna chuckle at it together. But before we do, I got to remind you guys about a couple things. You know what they are. First and foremost being you guys in the Downers Club. And there's somebody I know that isn't on this list that's supposed to be. Sorry about that. I'll get you in there soon. But Alex W. Magoo, Break the Bell, Mike Stonehouse, Cole, Heffalumps Woozles, Lauren Carter, Stefan Hartman, Carolina B., Ryan Mortensen, Joe Kabinski, Derek Evans, John Odermatt, Tim Brown, Nathan Sipes, Champion Pundit Academy, Mary Rome, Lee Laterno, William Wells, and many, many more. If you want to get your name on that list and possibly have it read, go on over to patreon.com/The System Is Down and sign up for as little as the cost of one super chat per month. That is one super chat per month. Now, I say that because it's $5 if you want all the bonus content, but I have changed it so that I'm going to start doing it. So if you want to join the after party live, you got to be there for the live stream. You won't get to listen to it later. So I know it's not the most convenient timing, but even at the $1 level, you can join the live stream of the after party. So we do these main episodes, then we do after parties after almost every single one and keep the party going and hang out and get even more weird, more offensive, more personal. So if you want all the bonus content, if you want all the stuff, you can sign up for the $5 level on the Patreon, or you can sign up for the $1 level and just get it live. I mean, for some of you moms out there, that might be a better deal for you because you're not doing anything during the day while the kids are at school. But anyway, that's that. Go join the Downers Club at patreon.com/The System Is Down, and you'll get more weird, more raw, more offensive, more weekly content, bonus episodes of the show every single week. And you'll help this show keep growing and going and getting bigger and better and more beautiful. And yes, jackcaseybooks.com. Check them out. And Matt Miller is libertyportraits.com. Check them both out. They're amazing guys who both have the balls to sponsor this show. So check them out right now. Go do it. You can pause and come back, or you can just leave this playing in the background. You're not going to miss a whole lot, I promise. But yeah, this is where we talk about the news. Sometimes you do interviews on Monday. I know, Sharon, I know you're a little confused about how my schedule works. First off, the schedule basically works like this. What I feel like doing is what happens. That's rule number one. Rule number two is usually the news is on Wednesdays, and sometimes I'll do interviews whenever I can get them, usually Mondays, to spread it out a little bit. But yes, if you missed the interview on Monday, I had Michael Heiss on from the Mises Caucus to talk about their sweeping takeover that is currently, I would say, succeeding fairly well. So go check that out from Monday's episode. It was a great conversation with Michael Heiss. And yeah, look forward to Reno. I'm going to be in Reno. Are you going to be in Reno? I will be in Reno. I will also be at the Delaware Convention. Come hang out. Come check it out. Come do boring Liberty nerd shit, but in the most fun way possible with yours truly and some of the other coolest people in the movement. Anyway, that's that. We're talking about the news. We're talking about the stuff. There's no other pleasantries here at the beginning, is there? Oh, get in the comments section. Obviously, that should go without saying in the year 2022. Get in the comments section. I try to read them whenever I can. If you have something that's like you feel like is really pertinent, I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of leeway. I'm gonna try something, and it is up to you whether or not you abuse this system. It's entirely up to you. So we did it with Michael Heiss. It was actually CD's doing. She put what was it? Fake super chat or something like that. Fake super chat in all caps, and then if you have something very particular that you think that I should read, or maybe if you're in the Downers Club, if I recognize you as being in the Downers Club and you put fake super chat, even more so, I will be more likely to read it. So increase your chances by doing that, but I get distracted easily. So there's a good chance that I will start reading a comment that has nothing to do with anything, and then I will move on. Sharon says, you shush your mouth, Daniel Smotz. Thank you. Jack Casey says, I gotta write more WVW before this stupid world finally ends. Yes, I was actually saying the other day, I have an album, my band has an album that we've been working on for like 4 years. It's pretty good, I'll say. I'm not gonna say too much about it, because, whatever. But, yeah, we've been working on it for a long time, and I'm notoriously bad at working on something and then not releasing it for a very long amount of time because I'm never quite satisfied. And the band is suffering the same thing as well, and we always have. But we have an album that we're working on. I was talking to somebody the other day, the guy who's mixing it, and I was like, I'm pretty sure this album is going to come out before the end of the world, but there is a chance. There's always the slight chance that God is waiting for this album to come out so before he ends the world. So maybe, just maybe, it is our album that is like the whole Ukraine and Russia thing. When that kicked off, we were all like, hey, this could all end any minute now. And then it just kind of is still there happening, and the world isn't ending. So maybe The only reason why we're not dead right now is because this album hasn't released. Maybe it's my album, maybe it's Jack Casey's book. I don't know, but God's got a fun sense of humor in that way. So it might be. I'm not sure if it's for the betterment of the world that neither of us are getting around to releasing our things. But hey, go check them out anyway. Whatever. Jack Casey says, "Hello, girlfriends." Yes, that's my daytime audience. We are The View, but better. And if you take 5 menopausal women and smash them into one, maybe you get one whatever this is. I don't know. But anyway, we like to start off, of course, with the very good news. Oh, and I should say, I have an extremely full schedule, like more so than usual. I have like a mountain of work that I brought back from the Liberty Forum, and I've got a bunch of stuff coming up. So I'm going to try and make this brief. And I know it's not going to be brief, but I'm just going to say that. So if it ends up being short, it was the plan all along, and I do have an entire full episode for the after party as well, so even if it is short here, which it won't be, come join the Downers Club, and you'll get an entire, probably at least another hour full episode over there. Anyway, we start out with the good news, because we like to be all positive and cheery and set you off on a happy tone, and the good news is, of course, that COVID. Do you remember COVID? That was that thing, like it was just this little disease that was going around for a couple years or so. It was in the news here and there. You might have missed it, but it's not over. That's the good news for today. I couldn't come up with anything better than that for the good news, but COVID is indeed not over, according to a lot of people, and they are loving it. They love this. This is COVID. Hashtag COVID is not over was trending on March 13th, and this is just a random person that I pulled their tweet or whatever. There were a lot of them. A lot of people saying, hey, keep wearing your masks, keep getting vaccinated, keep doing this and that, because as you know, COVID is not over. Don't be selfish. Don't be selfish. And this person at Charles 832300639, so you know it's legit, says, wearing a good quality face mask is a great way to keep others safe. Retweet if you agree. Hashtag, who cares? Hashtag wear a mask. So not only is it not over, but some people think that it's so not over that they're putting this out like this is news to somebody, like this is some new revelatory thought that they came up with. Hey guys, I don't know if you heard, like the joke set up to this that I just gave about people not knowing about COVID. That's basically this person's unironic tweet. Hey guys, retweet if you agree that face masks are good. It's beautiful. These people love it. They will not let it go no matter what happens to them. And speaking of not letting it go, Pfizer agrees that it's not over. Pfizer asks the FDA to okay 4th dose of COVID for seniors. That's right. It's so not over that they're even talking about, they're working on their latest 4th vaccine. So if the first one wasn't good enough, second one wasn't good enough, third one wasn't good enough, maybe the 4th one. And maybe we'll try the pills after that. I'm still waiting for the pills. They keep talking about the pills. They've been talking about them for at least a year now. But Pfizer's working on their 4th vaccine, and they're like, hey, guys, this one will... we had these vaccines, and they're so amazing. Like this guy here, I'm not even going to play it because who cares? This guy here's talked about like his book and shit, and he's like, he wrote this book on how quickly they were able to pull off this work of magic, Pfizer, to make these vaccines in such record-breaking time. He wrote a book on how amazing that was. But then now he's saying, yeah, we did that, and that was amazing, but it's kind of wearing off, and it, you know, I don't know. Is the vaccine wearing off, or is people's interest in the vaccine wearing off? Because, like, why are we going for the 4th round? And if it worked the first 3 times, then why do we need a 4th round? And if the 3rd one worked, definitely. Like, even if it was weak, why don't we go, hey, we'll just take that again and go another 6 months or so? I don't know. Like, I'm making the terrible mistake of trying to apply logic to this anymore, but some people love their COVID, and they're not letting it go. Speaking of crazy people loving their COVID and not letting it go, have you heard of Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot? She's been compared by very intelligent people such as myself to the Beetlejuice head on Beetlejuice. Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot warns cops and city workers they'll be put on no pay status if they don't get first dose of COVID vaccine by Sunday. About 2,800 police officers remain unvaccinated. Yes, my friends, this is happening now. This is something new. Yep, March 13th. Just making sure I didn't get an old thing. Doesn't this sound like something that, doesn't this sound like an article or a statement from a year ago? Maybe 2 years ago? No, this is now, March 13th. And so Sunday would have been, what? Yes, so that would be this past Sunday? I don't know, math. Either way, crazy. Absolutely crazy. She's insisting, even the police officers that love her so much already up there, she's insisting that they get vaccinated. I want to see how this goes. Yes, fire all your police officers for not getting the vaccine when the entire world has moved on from this whole vaccine crazy paranoia conspiracy theory that you still believe, Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot. Chicago City workers who don't have their first dose of COVID-19 vaccine, a group that includes about 2,800 cops, will be placed on non-disciplinary no-pay status on Sunday after the city won another court battle over its mandate last week. So, yeah, the city will consider disciplining workers on a case-by-case basis, Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot said. So, case-by-case basis means you get the jab or you go home. It's still happening. What is wrong with you people? Sincerely, what is wrong with you? How can you be so in love with this idea? And if you think that this is just ignorance and there's no malicious intent here, at what point do you take away all possibility of it being ignorance? This lady has been preaching this, has been pushing for this for 2 straight years, and 2 weeks after everybody gives up on this thing, she's like, "No, motherfucker, I got the biggest dick in Chicago." Her words, not mine. Go back and find it. There's an article about her angrily bragging about the size of her penis, but she's like, "No, I got this big old dick, and I'm gonna make you take a vaccine." Whether it makes any sense at all or not. And it doesn't. It does not make any sense at all. She also was called out by somebody, by a reporter. This is pertaining to the cop situation. And this is, it's funny because she's currently making it impossible for cops to do their job even a little bit. Okay, who's calling me? Why has Ben calling me? All right. We'll play this and then we'll talk. And it's not going to play because it's Twitter. Hold up. And here we go.
During the out-of-control race riots in Chicago in 2020, you were seen marching around with a fist in the air. You were heard making anti-police comments. Now we have violent criminals who believe that they own the streets of Chicago. We have experienced police officers who have actual on-the-street experience arresting violent criminals, just throwing up their hands and retiring early.
Is there a question, sir?
Yeah. Do you feel that you are?
Let's get to it.
Do you feel that the citizens of Chicago who have lost faith in you are correct and that you should retire immediately?
So there's a lot. There's a lot of misstatements in what you said.
Listen to her politics, her political answer. It's such a gaslighting avoidance of answering this at all. It's just a complete. It's like a detour in word form, just straight around the question and re-divert the problem back to the person asking the question. The question, of course, being, hey, you're screwing over the police force, and then crime is rising, and then we had these riots and stuff. You guys remember the riots, right? I'm not the only one. It's not just me and this reporter, but let's see if Lori Lightfoot remembers the riots.
Okay. There were no out-of-control race riots in the city of Chicago in 2020. And sir, let me just, you asked your question. If you want an answer, you make a speech, but you don't want me to respond. So now I'm going to respond. Your characterization of what happened in this city in the summer of 2020 is a gross characterization of what actually transpired. So I don't even know where to begin to start to deconstruct the myths and the facts and the outright mistruths.
There's just word salad. Just I'm so baffled that you would even propose the idea that ever there was possibly the chance of somebody in this city who the outright lies and utter mistruths and misperceptions and lies, and I'm running out. Somebody get me a thesaurus for more words that mean lies.
In your statement, we had a challenging time in the summer of 2020, as did almost every city in the country. Our officers responded to a historic civic outcry. And as you remember, during that time...
Notice how she keeps looking down and saying, like she's not comfortable answering this question because she knows it's a straight and utter lie.
We had three things that were happening. Peaceful protests that got hijacked by vigilantes who tried to disrupt and came for a fight with the police, and we saw that play out, unfortunately, way too many times, as well as...
So there's no riots. There's just peaceful protests who are hijacked by rioters, and that happened so many times. We saw it happen way too many times. So you're saying that there was a lot of things where rioters hijacked protests. There weren't any riots, and it didn't happen very many times, but it also happened so many times.
As organized gangs and criminals that were engaged in retail thefts. I think the police department rose to the occasion and handled this unprecedented circumstance as best they could. And once again, sir, you're blocking a camera, but I guess you don't care about that.
It's so juvenile. Also, like just grasping at anything to make this guy seem like a bad person for asking an obvious question. Oh, also you're standing in front of a camera, but obviously you don't care about that. You selfish reporter. How dare you, sir? How dare you stand in front of my camera?
So I think that's probably as much as your question warrants. Thank you all.
Oh, mic drop. Oh, so good. So good. Yep. So that's Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot, at least for the time being. I would imagine, I would pray and hope. Dear Chicagoans out there, you're representing me too, and I'm really sick of your decisions. You guys are really, really bad at this in every way. Every single way. But that's Mayor Lori Lightfoot. Also, she was in the news for coming out on during some St. Patrick's Day celebrations, and here's that look she donned. I wonder if it's in here. I didn't pull it up, but somebody had taken. You remember that old viral clip of the guy who was like a crackhead, or he said he was like hopped up on something. He was like, "Oh, I saw a leprechaun. He was like a crackhead," and it shows like a picture, like a illustration drawing of what the guy said he saw, and it's like this juvenile, tiny little sketch of just two dots for eyes, and a hat, and like whatever. People are like, "Oh, we found it. We found that leprechaun. It is actually the mayor of Chicago." And this is by at Larry is Legend. I don't know who that is, but he says, and then I told the Batman I got the biggest dick in this city. Oh, I mean, it's hard to decide. Is it valuable enough? Does the joy that their stupidity, is that valuable enough for me to root for them to stay in office? Or is them, destroying all civilization, is that, you gotta, it's a give and take. You gotta give and take a little bit. But moving on, you guys got anything in the comments worth a read? No? Didn't? Okay. There's no fake super chats, so I'll assume not. Desiree says its purpose is to help from overpopulation. Yep. I don't know what we're talking about. I guess that would be Mayor Lori Lightfoot's main purpose. She's helping very great with overpopulation because, as the biggest dick in Chicago stares you in the eye, everybody else just goes soft in shame. Anyway, moving across and down to speaking of penises, the penis of America, Florida has been in the news quite a bit lately because of some Ron DeSantis guy, some character down there raising a holler. And there's a couple things I wanted to address that he's been up to these days. Ron DeSantis attacked woke Disney after they paused donations. This is from HillReporter.com, so you know it's legit. 1 second. Since being elected as governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis has mostly pushed culture war issues, and the Republican has only become more extreme over time. DeSantis' latest disgraceful push bans teachers from discussing homosexuality in schools. So this is the don't say gay bill thing that doesn't even say gay anywhere in the bill. That's how much they are dedicated to don't say gay. They won't even say gay. They won't even tell you to not say gay in the bill. That's how anti-gay the don't say gay bill, that's actually called something else entirely different and fairly innocuous. But you get the point. So, quote, this is from DeSantis, quote, woke Disney is now echoing Democratic propaganda and falling for the corporate media's phony hysteria over a Florida bill that sensibly, or maybe this isn't him, I don't know. The Florida governor put out, okay, yeah, it is. For the corporate media's phony hysteria over a Florida bill that sensibly prohibits K through third graders from school being indoctrinated with transgenderism and R-rated lessons about sexuality. Now, we've talked about this a lot. We don't need to go too deep into it, but Disney is pulling their donations from Ron DeSantis because of this. Woke Disney. And he's calling them woke Disney because they're not going along with him on this quote-unquote don't say gay bill. But the obvious question, and maybe I'm the dumb one, but did anybody else's eyebrow raise at the idea that Disney was giving money to Ron DeSantis in the first place? This evil character that can do no right in leftists' eyes. Isn't it strange that Disney is pulling their funding? Stranger, isn't it, that they were funding him or giving him donations? I don't know the entire situation there. It doesn't have a lot of information, but yeah. I mean, I think all these people are in bed together in one way or another, and that Disney, they might preach the woke shit, but they probably were big fans of, the lax COVID mandate restrictions and things down there, given that that's a very large, section of their personal private economy and their new creation of Disney Universe, Disney Live-In Experience, or whatever, Meta 3.0. Now, Ron DeSantis also said some other things, so I support him on the don't do that, don't whatever, say gay or whatever bill, which, because it's a public service, the public should get to decide what the teachers teach the kids. I'm against public schools in general, but if you're going to have one and you're going to force people to pay for it out of their taxes, I don't care what it is. If everybody agrees, hey, we don't want this thing taught to our kids in public school with our money, then that's it. That's really all the discussion should be. Especially if it's something, grooming and gross. There's that. But now Ron DeSantis is moving on to something else. Ron DeSantis is focusing now his time on passing the nation's first law restricting how employers talk about race at work. So now he's pushing for this bill that is more on the side of, hey, I don't want this critical race theory stuff to be forced onto people in their places of employment. And this is a strange one, I think, from a libertarian perspective, because this is a governor telling businesses what they can and cannot do in their business as far as training and stuff. I don't like the idea that businesses are discriminating against people or their employees and stuff like that. And there's certainly a large conversation to be had on discrimination in general. Should we even have discrimination laws, or should we allow people to be assholes if they want to and allow the free market to boycott them or cancel them or whatever it takes? Like if somebody wants to have a no whites coffee shop, should that be allowed? I know a lot of people that are very against discrimination who would be very for having a no whites coffee shop. So should that be allowed or should it not be allowed? I think it should be allowed. I guess cautiously. There's the heretical libertarian side of me that's like, let's try the thing for sure, 100%, and I think it'll go great. And if it doesn't go great, I think we need to have a conversation. Like, if suddenly, everybody was allowed to discriminate, and then there was one group of people that were completely pushed out of society, I would have a problem with that. But I don't think people are complete and utter assholes. I think most of the discrimination comes from government in the first place. But this is Ron DeSantis saying you are not allowed to teach this stuff or like push this stuff on your employees. And again, I don't like the idea of businesses hiring somebody and then like hiring a white person or even a black person. Let's roll reverse here a little bit. Hiring a black person and then telling them how bad they are for their race. I don't want it for white people or black people or any people. I think that's trashy, very, very trashy. But I also don't want the government setting precedents for telling businesses how to run their business. And I think this one is a little bit telling. It's a little bit telling on this guy that a lot of libertarians seem to praise. You can praise him when he's good, and I'll praise him when he does good things. I'll praise him for the taking the sexual stuff out of public schools. But this is private businesses being forced to not teach certain things to people. I don't know. While I agree with him on the sentiment, I don't agree with this new precedent of power for governors to decide what your training, what is included in your training in your place of business. But there's that. That's my Ron DeSantis take for the day. Some good, some bad, and he's still part of the system, man. He's not anything special. Like, we praise him, and the COVID stuff that he did was great for the most part. Great. Like, one of the best on COVID. So, yes, let's praise him for that. But really, that was just doing things normally. That's what's considered brave now. And it is, sadly, but we should kind of keep it in perspective that just because you didn't lose your fucking mind like everybody else doesn't make you like some super libertarian or like necessarily an always good person of the people. So keep an eye on him. I don't trust him, but I like some of the things he does. Anyway, what do we got next? What else we got? Oh, the world is burning, if you haven't heard. What do we have here? What do we have up here in the super chats? Any super chats? No? No? Okay. Shannon says, leave my penis state alone. Yeah, I will. I'm going to leave it alone. Because I don't swing that way. Aiden McGill says, did Dan go down on a stripper before going live? I'm not sure what that means, but no. Let me see. Anything good? Anything good here? Jack Casey's always good. To avoid getting pinched tomorrow on St. Patrick's Day, buy and keep a copy of the world. Oh, God. Oh, Jack, do I not give you enough plugs? Do I not give you enough? What do you want from me? Let's see. TK says, WTF, Dan. I just posted a fake super chat. I don't see it. Where is it? You got to say fake super chat, or I'm not even going to look. And I don't see anything that says fake super chat. So try again. Put it at the beginning of your comment, because I'm just scrolling through, and there's a couple of you in here today. So whatever. Anyway, we're going to talk about the world burning. Climate change is back. Who could have possibly predicted this? Who could have possibly said the next thing after COVID, the next thing that they're going to focus on is climate change? And I know a lot of you said, not a lot of you necessarily, because you're the smart ones in the world, but a lot of people told me, I don't think this is going to happen. I think they've tried climate change too much. I think they're kind of letting that one go. But the reason, like, I'm not some sort of soothsayer. I'm not a prophet. I just listened to fucking CNN's Charlie Chester, who said it when he didn't know that he was being filmed. He said, yeah, we keep the ticker up there because fear sells. And then when he was asked, he didn't know that he was on camera, but when he was asked, he said, the next thing is going to be climate change. So here we are. We're to the climate change. And from Science Insider, so you know it's legit, the message of the most recent UN climate change report, delay means death. I need a scary sound effect here. I don't have any scary ones, so we'll just go with that. Delay means death. At Jake Biddle breaks down a few of the most urgent and important ways governments need to adapt if they want to manage and avoid more climate-driven catastrophes. The UN compiles decades of research on how to adapt to climate change, proposing hundreds of solutions that can reduce the human and financial cost of climate disasters. It is now adapt or die. So they're basically saying, in many, many words, they're saying we're basically too late. Now we have to figure out how to work with this. We need to slow it down as much as we can because it's already here. It's already happening. We're already dying. Now, you know me, I'm open-minded, and I've been pretty well against the climate change stuff for a while, not just because I hate recycling or because I think the planet is dumb and probably flat. It's not that. It's because the people that keep telling me that I need to do stuff, that I need to change my life, they keep not changing their life at all. The people like Barack Obama, Bernie Sanders, like these people go out and tell you that you're going to die in Florida and California are all going to be underwater within a couple years, and then they go and buy beachfront property. Seems a little suspect. It seems like they just want you to do something, and they're going to do whatever they can to scare you into doing it. Sound familiar? Does it sound like anything else that happened over the last 2 years? Yes. And if you can convince everybody to lock down because it might save grandma, imagine what you can do if you convince them that it will save everybody. Now and into the future. So that's what we're focusing on now is this climate change stuff. However, like we had a Buttigieg, his solution to climate change, his solution to not only climate change, but also gas prices, this fluctuation of gas, is to go out and everybody needs to just go buy a $40,000 Tesla. You need to go buy, well, maybe not Tesla, electronic cars. Not Tesla, because he's kind of the bad guy or something. I don't know. They're in kind of a pickle, kind of a conundrum with that one. The guy who keeps making the electronic cars, they don't like him, but they really like electronic cars. Regardless of what those do to the environment when they're mining for the nickel or whatever, uranium, plutonium, I don't know, I'm not a scientist. So that's Buttigieg's solution. And ironically enough, I saw this article going around that said that Californians, the Californian government was telling residents not to charge their electric cars due to power shortages. So, I guess that probably deserves one of those. So we need to cut down on carbon emissions. You need to spend $40,000 on electric cars, but as soon as you do, we're going to tell you that that's not good either because that's a drain on the power. Yeah, okay. And so, of course, I went to the trusty Snopes to find out if this was true. Actually, I didn't. I just saw a headline, and then I went to find the headline, and then Snopes came up first. And so I was like, hey, we might as well go to the most reliable source on the internet and find out what they think about this. Did California tell residents not to charge electric cars due to power shortages? As record high temperatures persisted in the western U.S., so did social media rumors. Now, this is from June 2021. And that was back before things were as dire as they are now, even. Still pretty relevant, I'd say, since we're still pushing with the same thing. The claim is that, and it is a mixture. It's mixed. Is it true? Is it false? We don't really know. Let's see what Snopes has to say. A voluntary alert advising Californians to conserve energy during a specific time frame was issued in mid-June 2021 to help balance supply and demand on the power grid during an extreme heat wave in the region. Unplugging electric vehicles during peak usage times was one recommended measure included in a list of power-saving strategies issued by the So, let's see. There's the origin and stuff, and like the original post was just California literally just told everyone to not charge their electric cars due to power shortage. That's what they're claiming is the original claim. I'm guessing this person that just posted it randomly on Facebook wasn't the only person making this claim, but hey, we'll go with it. Now there's a bunch of mindless info. Where's the thing? Okay, so the above displayed meme was inaccurate. Here's why. California did not tell, quote, everyone not to charge their electric cars. In reality, residents were asked to charge their cars at a time at a time other than when the energy supply was limited. So they didn't tell everyone to do this. They just recommended that everyone do this. Like, that's how you disprove this. You just pretend like you didn't understand the question, basically. That's something Kamala Harris is really good at lately, I've noticed. I had this post that got a little bit of traction yesterday or the day before. It said something like, Kamala Harris never answers the question that she was asked. She answers the question that she wishes she was asked instead. And she still gets the answer wrong. So she just makes up the question and she still just spews nothing out of her mouth for 5 minutes. But Where was I? Oh, yeah, Snopes does the same thing. They answer the question that they wish that you had asked them, which is, did California specifically tell every single person that they can't use this stuff? No, they did not. They recommended that everyone not use this stuff at peak times and blah, blah, blah. Now, it doesn't really fucking matter, right? It doesn't matter whether they were saying, like, at peak times and for anybody who could and yada, yada. We don't have, like, they're pushing for everyone to have electronic cars. I wonder what the percentage is of electronic car usage in California right now that led to these problems already. So the issue is you're saying, let's take away all the regular cars and everybody has electronic cars, and lots of states, even Texas, and we've got a lot of power grid issues all around the country, and we're just going to switch everything to power grid supplying cars and transportation, all of it. And if they have problems with that now, what do you think is going to happen once everybody has them everywhere? I would say there's probably a lot of power grids that are way less qualified or what have you to function this way than California even is. But hey, leave it up to them to come up with problems that have no solutions, and then pretend like the solution is you suffering. That's the main thing. You have to spend all your money. You can't afford gas. You can't, which is obviously Putin's fault. You can't afford $7, $8, $9, $10 in gas per gallon, but you can afford $40,000 to get a new car. And then when you do, it's going to be a problem because your energy bill is going to go up, and all the power grids are going to collapse. Anyway, you get the point. You see the problem here. But Jen Psaki, of course, doesn't see the problem here because she was asked a very, I would say, poignant question on this topic recently. Here's her.
Pushing electric vehicles today. This is a president who always talks about the power of our example. Mm-hmm. Does he own an electric vehicle?
Presidents of the United States don't do a lot of driving.
He's posted videos where he's revving the engine of his Corvette in Wilmington. He owns cars.
And he also has driven electric vehicles as president, as to give a model to the rest of the country.
Does he own one?
I think the president's record on this is clear, Peter. Presidents of the United States, current and when they are no longer, typically are not doing a lot of driving.
So what you're saying is, I'm not going to answer your question. It's always the plebs. It's always the normies, the nobodies just walking around, the poors. They're the ones who have to spend all the money on upgrading everything. Joe Biden can have a collection of cars, but when asked if Joe Biden drives an electric car, Jen Psaki's response is, Joe Biden doesn't drive cars all that often. I don't know too many presidents who do. Okay, asshole. We understand that. Somebody's driving Joe Biden around. Are they driving him around in an electric car or in a big gas-guzzling limousine? Because I bet I can answer that for you. If you don't know how to do your job, I can do it for you. Yes, one time he drove an electric Hummer. Or he was driven in one. But she's just pretending like she doesn't understand the question. Like, that's the game these people play. I don't understand your question, so I'm going to answer a different one. That's it. Do they have electric planes? Do they have electric cars? Do they have electric what? Everything. Do they have electric boats? What do we got in the chats? Anything? Anybody got anything to say up in here? No? Let me see. I probably shouldn't go back too far because then I never know what you guys are talking about. But hey, at least you guys are talking to each other. That's really what matters here. Jay Nate says, the dreams where I'm falling are the worst. So if you guys want to join my random chat section that sometimes I wonder if they're even listening to the show or if they're just hanging out, which is also cool. The algorithm doesn't care. But hey, yeah, come on, hang out in the chats. And like I said, if you want to continue the party in the after party, all it takes is $1 a month if you're going to be watching it live. So check that out. But moving on, speaking of speaking of people that energy, resources, that stuff, Elon Musk. We already brought him up already, so this segue kind of fell on its face. But Elon Musk, we've talked a little bit about the Elon Musk and Grimes love triangle or love spat or whatever. They had a kid whose name was basically, I don't know, an equation. Grimes is apparently a very successful and famous pop artist that nobody ever heard of until Elon Musk started dating her, at least to my knowledge. But they have been on again and off again for quite some time. Grimes and Elon Musk, they had their one kid, and then they broke up, we heard, and then turns out they had another kid, and they didn't even tell anybody. It was just kind of like a passing statement that Grimes mentioned in an interview, and I'm pretty sure that was after they broke up, but it's a surrogate child that they had together, whose name is also another string of, symbolism and probably Illuminati stuff. But they had another kid, and it was a surrogate child. Does that mean it was Elon Musk's sperm impregnating somebody else? In which case, if they have a surrogate create this child for them with Elon Musk's sperm, and then they're not together when the child is born? I mean, it's kind of weird. It's a weird situation. Do they have to have like joint custody on a child that only Elon Musk put in the work for? In that case, I mean, it's not that often that a woman, the mother in the relationship, can say, "Yeah, the guy did all the work here, as far as we go, in making this child." But yeah, I don't know, something to think about. But news. This is news. Grimes. Comes from Yahoo.com. Business Insider. So it's legit. Grimes says Elon Musk, quote, lives at times below the poverty line and would not buy a new mattress despite her side having a hole in it. Does Grimes not have money? So this is just talking about how he lived well below his means, let's say. Well below his means. Let's see. Speaking with Vanity Fair, the musician recalled how they had once found a hole in her side of the mattress while living in Los Angeles. Instead of buying a new one, she said, Musk suggested that they bring over the mattress from her home instead. Oh, okay. So they already have another mattress. Like, I know I'm not a billionaire like Elon Musk is, so I don't really or even Grimes is. So I don't really understand this mindset, but I'm like, so it has a hole in it. How big is this hole? Can you flip it over? Can you put a patch on it? Are you putting a sheet over that hole? If so, it's probably fine. I mean, maybe get a new, there's not really any reason why he wouldn't get a new mattress, but if there was a perfectly good mattress somewhere else, yeah, makes sense. The dude's a penny pincher, apparently, and it seems to pay off pretty well for him. He seems to be able to, handle his money pretty well. She said, like, bro, wouldn't even get a new mattress, she told the publication. Bro does not live like a billionaire. Bro, God, does she talk this way in real life? Does she call Elon Musk when she's with him? Does she call him bro all the time? Bro does not live like a billionaire. Bro lives at times below the poverty line. I'm going to assume she's like a Californian surfer dude, because that's what this voice sounds like. Grimes said per Vanity Fair, quote, to the point where I was like, can we not live in a very insecure $40,000 house where the neighbors like film us and there's no security and I'm eating peanut butter for 8 days in a row. She makes it sound like she was held hostage. Seems like she could probably afford to go out and buy some food, get an Uber, maybe get security. Like if Elon Musk isn't home all that often, maybe he's just like, I don't need to like fancy up the place. I work a lot. I don't know if you've noticed. I'm going to Mars. I'm working on that. Which, I mean, that's obviously fake too. But that's a conversation for another time. So she's mad, or she's basically just ragging on him because they're broken up, and she's not happy with it. Which, for like the hipstery young type, it seems like the ideal living, right? They go for minimalist and simple and tiny houses and things. That's what he was doing, and I guess he was like renting a tiny house from his own business or something. I don't know how rich people work. Probably not very much anymore, I would imagine. But yeah, it goes on to talk about the new kid. In the same interview, Grimes said she and Musk had a secret second child, a baby girl they call Y. The couple's older son, X, this string of nonsense here, pronounced XAI Archangel, So now we know, I guess, that's how that's pronounced, was born in May 2020. Y, whose name is Exa Dark Sidrael Musk, I'm guessing that's how you pronounce that, was conceived via surrogate and is Musk's 7th child. Holy shitballs. I did not know Elon Musk had 7 children. Hey, he's got some good genes in there, right? Like, for all the terrifying things he does, he's got some good in there. He's kind of a conundrum. Like, there's a part of me that loves the dude for some of the things he's done, like not giving a shit about people trying to cancel him and that type of thing primarily. And, you know, I think it's good if he's getting Starlink out to people that desperately need it. We'll talk about that more in a bit. But if he's doing these things for the greater good, great. But I also don't trust him because he's in bed with government in one way or another. He's working on going to Mars. Everybody who does that seems like they've got the government in their back pockets, or they're in the government's back pockets. I don't know, whatever. Working together, not trustworthy. That's what I'm saying. But he's living too poor for Grimes, apparently. Now, the plot thickens. The plot gets even weirder as this came out this week. Grimes, this is like right after they broke up, Grimes and Chelsea Manning's random reported relationship leak. Now, this was going around Twitter the other day, and it seems to me, as I read through this, there's almost nothing here. Like, some people say, like, somebody reported that things are heating up with them or something, and then somebody else, let's see, It's really a nothing burger. So I'll just read it. In the next new installment of the Grimes Chronicles, she's now reportedly dating the former U.S. soldier and infamous whistleblower Chelsea Manning. Take that with a grain of salt, or at least a strong allegedly. Gawker first alluded to the news in which a blind item Thursday, wondering which space witch with a hidden baby is dating a hacker extraordinaire. Gee, we do wonder. So that's pretty much it. Gawker, who's not known for their credibility all that much, I don't believe. Post-breakup in Austin, they're getting serious, a source told the outlet. Just a source. Quote, they U-hauled it. So it's like these tiny little fragments of a sentence that they're using to mean something. Manning said that she was vouching for Grimes. So that obviously proves it. And Grimes was saying that she's taking Manning's word as final these days. So that's pretty much it. It's interesting, though. It's just interesting taste in men and obviously in trans women as well. Interesting choice in partners there, but yeah. So shortly after this, Elon Musk, I think this is just as of today, Elon Musk has changed his name to Elona Musk. Fact check me. It's there right now. His name is Elona Musk, and we'll talk about why. I don't think it's because he's transitioning, but maybe he's trying to win her back because she's into that. I don't know. Do we have any fake super chats? I don't know. This might not be the best system. Maybe I need to come up with a better one because I can't really stop and go back and look to make sure that there are none. But anyway, Elon Musk challenged Vladimir Putin to a fist fight because we're definitely not living in a simulation. Elon Musk on what day? March 14th. So that's 2 days ago. So Monday says, I hereby challenge Vladimir Putin. That's Vladimir Putin in Russian. I'm 99% sure. Somebody check me on it, but that's what all the reporters are saying. I hereby challenge Putin to single combat. Stakes are Ukraine. So it's a very short, very strange thing to say to a world leader that you're he's bringing aid and help to Ukraine, and he's kind of calling out Putin and literally challenging him to a fist fight. We're definitely not living in a simulation, of course. But, yeah, so that happened. And then this came out. This is from Elon Musk as well. Elon Musk posted and said, Telegram post by Ramzan Kadyrov, head of Chechen Republic. And it's this Telegram message. It's all in Russian, but he does have the translation, which I have to assume is not a lie, but I'm not going to look it up. I'm not going to do a translation on all this. But it's so Elon Musk, a word of advice: don't measure your strength against that of Putin's. You are in two completely different leagues. Yeah, I would say that that's probably true. And it's not even about martial arts or judo. For example, how do you see it? How do you see it? Are you in the red corner of the boxing ring, a businessman and Twitter user, and Putin in blue, a world politician and strategist who inspires awe in the West and in U.S. Vladimirovich will look unsportsmanlike when he beats the hell out of you and much weaker opponent, blah, blah, blah. Therefore, you'll need to pump up those muscles in order to change from the gentle, effeminate Ilona. Hold up. Ilona. Nice. Got him with that one. Called him a girl. That'll show him. Ilona, into the brutal Elon you need to be. I propose training at one of several centers in the Chechen Republic. So, I don't really know anything about this dude, but he's calling out Elon Musk and basically saying, oh, you're weak. You're weak. You're a girl. You're Ilona. And then Elon Musk went along with it and just changed his name to Ilona. So that's pretty much it for that there. Simulation, obviously, that we're living in is one explanation for how the hell life is this now. But coming from Zelensky himself, the president of Ukraine, says, talk to Elon Musk. I'm grateful to him for supporting Ukraine with words and deeds. Next week, we will receive another batch of Starlink systems for destroyed cities. Discussed possible space projects, but I'll talk about this after the war. So he's like, hey, I was just talking to Elon Musk. Good dude, that Elon Musk. He sent us a bunch of free internet or something. And yeah, we're talking about some space stuff after too. But hey, just let me wrap up this. Got some things going on here. Let me wrap this up real quick, and then we can send some rockets to Mars with you or something. Yeah, nothing shady there. Now, we're going to talk about some Putin stuff, some Russia, Ukraine stuff. A lot of accusations of Putin apologists going around there. A lot of Putin assets or whatever. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. If you question the narrative, like this is the same as COVID. If you question the narrative at all, then you're a Putin apologist. Let me be very clear. I am not a Putin apologist. I'm a Putin realist, and I would like to know what the hell is going on over there, because there is propaganda from Russia's side, from Ukraine's side, and from the United States side. And these are all, every single one of them, corrupt governments. Every single one of them. I don't like that people in Ukraine are suffering. I don't like that people in Russia are suffering. I don't like that people in the United States are suffering. I don't like that there's elitist battles and arguments and disputes and everything over things that the common person doesn't give two shits about. I would imagine there are some people in Ukraine that are like, I don't care. If Putin wants to run, just stop bombing us. Or if Putin wants to take us over and we can be part of Russia again, just stop bombing us. I could be wrong, but I feel like there's a lot of people that just don't want to be bombed anymore. And I totally sympathize and empathize with that and can't even imagine what that's like to be going through right now. So my heart goes out to the Russian people, and also I don't trust this Zelensky guy as far as I can throw him. Don't trust Putin. Don't trust Biden. Don't trust Trump. Don't trust any of them. They're all part of the same fucking system. And the people who suffer are never the people who are responsible for the actions that are taken. So, yeah, if that makes me a Putin apologist or a Putin asset, so be it. But I think it's pretty telling when everything in the news, if you disagree with it in any way, or even if you fully, very clearly explain your position like I just did, they're still going to call you a Putin apologist or a Putin sympathizer or whatever, or a Russian asset. Anyway, so Zelensky gave a speech this morning, and I mean, there wasn't a ton to it, but we're going to listen to a little bit of it just so you know what's going on and see if any keywords stick out here. It's not going to play because it's Twitter, and I never remember to refresh it. What's going on in the chats? Jack Casey says, Dan, agreeing with your points, dude. You on fire. Jack, if you're agreeing with me, that makes me less comfortable with my stance, and yeah, I'm gonna start wearing the Ukraine pin from now on when I come here. All right, so Jack's a bad dude, in case you guys didn't know. So here is Ukrainian President Zelensky giving a virtual address to Congress. So he's pleading with the United States. Here's what he had to say to us.
Ladies and gentlemen, friends.
Oh, it's a translator, by the way. That's not Zelensky's real voice. I just want to make that clear, so there's no deception or fake news or anything.
Americans, in your great history, you have pages that would allow you to understand Ukrainians. Understand us now, when you need it right now, when we need you right now. Remember Pearl Harbor, terrible morning of December 7, 1941, when your sky was black from the planes attacking you. Just remember it. Remember September the 11th, a terrible day in 2001 when evil tried to turn your cities, independent territories, in battlefields, when innocent people were attacked from air. Yes. Just like no one else expected it. You could not stop it. Our country experiences the same every day, right now, at this moment, every night, for 3 weeks now. Various Ukrainian cities, Odessa and Kharkiv, Chernihiv and Sumy, Zhytomyr and Lviv, Mariupol and Dnipro. Russia has turned the Ukrainian sky into a source of death for thousands of people. Russian troops have already fired nearly 1,000 missiles at Ukraine, countless bombs. They use drones to kill us with precision. This is a terror that Europe has not seen for 80 years, and we are asking for a reply, for an answer to this terror from the whole world. Is this a lot to ask for?
Yeah.
To create a no-fly zone over Ukraine to save people? Is this too much to ask? Humanitarian no-fly zone, something that that Russia would not be able to terrorize our free cities. If this is too much to ask, we offer an alternative. You know what kind of defense systems we need, S-300 and other similar systems. You know how much depends on the battlefield, on the ability to use aircraft, powerful, strong aviation to protect our people, our freedom, our land, aircraft that can help Ukraine.
So there's that. So what we're saying here is you remember, first off, y'all remember those nasty things that happened in your history. Things like 9/11 and Pearl Harbor. There was nothing shady going on there. There was no, working to get us into wars that we shouldn't have been in or anything. Nothing. Definitely don't look into it because there was nothing there. But you remember those really sad times in American history, right? Now, we're going through that right now every day. Okay? And is it too much to ask that we get a no-fly zone over Ukraine? Is that too much to ask? Yes. Yes, it is. Because a no-fly zone is war. A no-fly zone means even if a Russian plane just flies over, we're going to shoot him out of the sky. And that's an act of war. That's starting a war. And now, I don't trust this guy. I don't trust these people. I don't trust any of them. They seem to want war. All three of them seem to really want this war. I'm not sure why it hasn't really popped off yet, but maybe it's because they know what would really happen. I don't really think they... I think they do. I don't know what the strategy is here exactly, but he's calling for the United States to basically go to war, the thing that I've been warning about. He's saying, hey, start a no-fly zone, which would be starting a war, in which case Ukraine would be in the middle of a nuclear war between two nuclear powers. Do you think that would fare any better for Ukraine? I tend to not. And I don't think it would fare any better for us as a country, because this doesn't really have anything to do with us. I feel bad for the people of Ukraine, and also I don't necessarily have the perfect answer, but I know that the answer isn't, hey, send our people to die in a ball of fire, send our children to die in a ball of fire. Like, not the people who are going to war. They're not, or not the people who are calling to go to war. They're never the ones fighting. I think that should be the rule. If you're going to call for your country to go to war, then you have to be on the front lines. You can be a general. You can have some power or whatever. You might be able to, if you're lucky, you might be able to take out a couple of our kids with you. But you go first. You go first. If you think it's that important, then it's on you. Figure it out. But no, I think that this is a terrible idea. I think that this guy is another pawn in the machine, and I think that Ukrainian citizens will suffer tremendously more if we get into a hardcore hot conflict with their next door neighbor. But that's not stopping people because, obviously even saying that is Russian propaganda. Russian propaganda if you don't want to go to war these days. That's what the left is pushing. That's what the right is pushing. And when they agree on something, that's how you know, shit, we're fucked. It's bad enough when one of them believes it, but if they both believe it, then it's a problem. And by the left and the right, I mean the people pushing the narrative. They're the ones benefiting here. But DuckDuckGo, if you didn't hear, DuckDuckGo, they're sick of the Russian propaganda as well. So they came out with this statement. This is the CEO of DuckDuckGo. He says, like so many others, I am sickened by Russia's invasion of Ukraine and the gigantic humanitarian crisis it continues to create. Hashtag stand with Ukraine. At DuckDuckGo, we've been rolling out search updates that downrank sites associated with Russian disinformation. So, what you're telling me is your business is shutting down because your business model is completely meaningless and there's no point in you existing at all whatsoever anymore. You're just Google. There's no benefit to DuckDuckGo over Google at this point. Sure, they might not be directly feeding, all of your information to the highest bidder. Probably still are. But they try and play it off as, our goal was always privacy. That's what we're about. We're about the privacy. Like, no, motherfucker. We went to you because you had the information that Google refused to show us. And now they don't even have that. So, goodbye. And duck, go fuck yourself. That's what I would call them now. But that's really unfortunate. If you guys know of any, I heard that there's a Brave browser and there's a couple other browsers, like Brave has a search engine or something that's maybe still kind of in beta test. If there's like a good, trusty, I don't even care. If Google wants to take the information of things I search, I'm not a big fan of it, but I'm more interested in, if I search for something, am I going to find the results that I know are out there? And this is, I've been saying this about DuckDuckGo for a bit. I've said it on the show a couple times. I didn't trust them anyway, because there's something happening controversial in the news, and I know that there's video of it, and I go and try and find that video and can't find it anywhere on DuckDuckGo. Even in the video search. Even if I specifically type in the name of the video that I'm looking for, but then if I go over to BitChute or Odyssey or Rumble or something, it's really easy to find that video all of a sudden. If this search engine is worth its weight in salt, why wouldn't it bring up one of the thousands of videos on the topic that I'm looking for that I know for a fact exist in the world? So, good riddance, whatever, it sucks, but hey, that's how the world goes these days. All your heroes are dead. Speaking of all your heroes being dead, Nick Sarwark. Not really. And by that I mean he's not dead, and also not a hero. But Nick Sarwark has been is stirred up some controversy. The way I put it, I don't have the meme, but I made that meme that was what's his name, Dick Cheney taking off the Nick Sarwark mask because he's fed up that he can't beat the Mises Caucus. Dick Cheney, aka Nick Sarwark, had posted this the other day. It is time for the Congress to have a debate on whether the United States should declare war on Russia, which is indiscriminately killing civilians and committing war crimes in Ukraine. It's not in American interest to declare war, but the American people deserve the debate. Now, doesn't sound that bad, right? American people should get to decide. Well, sure, but for a libertarian who's supposed to be anti-war, just straight anti-war is pretty much the general consensus among libertarians. And this is the former chairman, currently disgraced former chairman NATO'd multiple times, I believe, chairman of the Libertarian Party, and he's coming out and saying, hey, maybe we should talk about this. It's time for us to have the conversation. I do think that this was bait, because he spent the entire day just, anytime somebody responded to it, he would just quote tweet them and say, pro-Putin propaganda. He is mainstream news. That's the problem here, is that he wants so badly to be a part of the mainstream that this type of thing happens. Not only does he push their agenda, but he will criticize other people with just the same smear tactics that that CNN uses. Just pro-Putin propaganda because I don't like it. Goes against what I believe. So yeah, the libertarian stance on this should be fuck war. Just like it has been on all the other wars. Or at least it should have been on all the other wars. But yeah, I guess we need to have the debate. It also raises a couple questions, like who's having this debate exactly? Is it Nick Sarwark versus Biden? How does this debate work? Are we taking votes? Or is it going to be a Twitter poll? Who gets to decide who goes to war in this circumstance, Nick? Is it you? Because I feel like you've got the wrong answer, and I don't want you debating on my behalf or any libertarian's behalf, and I don't think you have the ability to do that. But if you're a libertarian who needs to have the debate for war, that's just a very sleazy way, very car salesman, lawyer-type way of saying, I think that we should go to war. Because I don't have to have a debate. I don't think we should go to war. And that would be my statement. I think that Americans should realize that we shouldn't be going to war. That's the argument there. Fucking duh. Like, come on. And then he goes on, of course, just calling people pro-Putin propagandists if they disagree with him. And he says, like Putin, Ron Paul has long wanted to end the mutual defense alliance of NATO. Whether it is for the same or for different reasons, there is no daylight between their positions. Defensive alliances are only a threat to aggressors, just like my gun is only a threat to attackers. And by that, of course, he means the bus load of Mises Caucus people showing up at the Pennsylvania party. And but don't fire till you see the whites of their hoods. If you don't know the reference, you're better off for it. But yes, he's now pulling Ron Paul into this because Ron Paul is against NATO, because NATO is has nothing to do with anything now. NATO achieved its goal, and NATO should have been disbanded a long time ago. But if you think that, you're just the same as Putin. It doesn't matter if it's for different reasons. There's no daylight between their positions. Give me a break. So that's the leadership, or the former leadership that is currently being drained from the Libertarian Party. The life is draining from the eyes of the boring normies that just want to have tea and crumpets with the Queen. I'm not personally interested in that, but hey, to each his own. Moving on, because we've got a lot. Oh, yeah, still talking about Ukraine. So not really moving on, just moving on from Nick. Anything in here? Jack Casey says, tell Sarwark I'm an anti-NATO but pro-NATO. I am anti-NATO but pro-NOTA when it comes to him. Nice. I think, yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Jay Nate says Nick is a clown. David Bradley says, Dan, read the LP of MN tweet where I dunked on him. No. I mean, God bless you for taking your shots, but I'm not going to stop the show and go read your tweet. If you want to tell me what you said, I'll read that. But Jack Casey says he's dead to me. Desiree says we need to just take out Putin, and I bet the rest of the country would be relieved. I don't know if that's true. I mean, that is very much the Lindsey Graham position and lots of people's position, that if we just kill this guy, it'll all be good and happy. But I don't know. I don't know if that's the case. I'm not convinced. I think I just think that there's so much to the story that we don't know, like about Putin, about how Putin runs his country, and all we're getting is propaganda from the United States. And you get, like, they're blocking. We've got DuckDuckGo now blocking Russian propaganda. Russian propaganda could be like the actual story. Like, I don't trust Russia any more than anybody else. But if there are Russian journalists who are putting out the actual story and it disagrees with the narrative that's being pushed here and in Ukraine, then I would rather know the actual story, even if it's uncomfortable. Or I would like to see what the Russians are saying, what the propaganda is. What's so dangerous? Like, I'm not any more scared of Russia's propaganda than I am of Ukraine's propaganda or the United States' propaganda or China's propaganda at this point. But the United States is, or the White House, the Biden's administration is taking extreme measures on making sure that everybody knows what the actual truth is and there is no propaganda. So the White House tapped TikTok influencers to help share accurate information with younger generations. This is from InsideEdition.com, so you know it's legit. You guys remember when I first started dressing up all fancy on the show? It was because of the TikTok influencer army that Biden announced that his administration was going to be tapping. I didn't get the call, unfortunately. Maybe it's because I'm not on TikTok, but they said YouTube at the time too. But I guess this is what it was all for. They need the influencer army so that they can be hip with the cool kids. And literally all that happens in that situation is you get Jen Psaki's words out of stupider people's mouths. Like, for as stupid and untrustworthy as Jen Psaki is, you just take some dumb TikTokers that just dance poorly for strangers, just dance monkey dance. They come out and they're just going to read Jen Psaki's words for you. And that's how we'll change the hearts and minds of children all over the country to be brainwashed into this. And I feel bad for them. I do. I kind of feel bad for some of the TikTokers, as dumb as they may be. They are being used. They are fucking pawns in this, straight up. And I have a feeling they will look back on maybe some of the things that they said and be like, that wasn't right. That wasn't true. I don't know. But I feel bad for them because they're being used as pawns and they're just trying to do the right thing. They have no idea. Just like I don't. But they're honored to have the White House hitting them up and using them as a mouthpiece for their own stuff. So here's one of the brilliant, this is where the future, the information for the future, this is what will wake up the generations of children on educating them for Ukraine. And if you're only listening to the audio, you cannot call me. Stop it. If you're only listening, stop it. 1 second. Watch this video. And this is, you know, the future. Maybe I should turn the music off so I don't get a strike. But, I mean, nice looking girl, but not even good dancing. Not even talented dancing. You need to stop calling me. All right, give me 1 second. My daughter is trying to call me, and then we'll talk about the fate of the universe resting in the hands of this person. You know that ad that I was going to play earlier? Here you go. All right. Sorry about that. My daughter is not at home, and she was calling, and she called 3 times. I'm like, hey, I'm a dad first, so if she's calling 3 times and not getting the hint, then maybe there's an emergency. So I had to check on her. Everything's good, though. All good. Dad life. Hashtag dad life. But now she's going to text me. Yeah, okay, cool. So the dancing video you just saw, that's who we tapped for sharing with the world the importance of Ukraine and gas prices and inflation and all that stuff. So here's her very brave stance on Ukraine and gas prices and that type of stuff. Here we go. I could have probably refreshed this while we were taking that break, but
United States inflation rate at a 4-time decade high. Why is gas so expensive, and why is the United States inflation rate at a 4-time decade high? I had the opportunity to ask the White House why gas down the street is $7, and here's what they said. The obvious reason: we're getting out of a 2-year pandemic. When use goes up.
I like how she says, I had the opportunity to ask them this question. I don't even think she asked them this question. It's probably like, I've seen how some of this political bullshit works behind the scenes, and I'm guessing they said, hey, the question that you're asking is about gas, and this one's about Ukraine, and here's the answer. Like, they just gave him the script. It's not like this was like, I'm sure this wasn't like some big Q&A. It was probably like, hey, here's what we say. It's like educated, like brainwashing them to preach this propaganda. And you can tell by the way she talks, she doesn't normally talk on her videos, I would imagine. Like, I think her video, like her feed is just nonstop dancing, just bad dancing to music, and that's it. And now she's taking her first shot at, having an opinion. And her opinion sounds an awful lot like Jen Psaki's opinion.
Price goes up. But the call was predominantly about Ukraine and Russia, so how does that relate? Russia is one of the top 3 producers of oil, and it is actually their #1 revenue source. Now, with Putin starting this horrific fight between Ukraine and Russia, nobody wants to work with him and do an international trade. So, with people being scared of war and limited resources, prices are bound to go up as well. For the people who can't pay $7 for a gallon of gas, there's an app called Gas Buddy that shows you the cheapest gas near you.
So, like, it's even like recommendations. Like, she's straight reading the script. This is the script that she was given, clearly. Also, if you haven't gotten vaccinated, go on down to your local DMV or whatever. Like, this is just so bad. And it's creepy, isn't it? Like, this is some dystopian shit. That we're just reaching out to the kids and being like, here's the script, read this off to your fans so that... Like, this is the propaganda right here. And the kid is just a pawn in the entire propaganda machine. So they hit up, like, I think there was a meeting with like 30 different TikTokers. There's 30 of them out there. Out of hundreds of thousands of TikTokers, those 30 are going to make a difference. So it's kind of whatever, but it is shady as shit when your government is doing stuff like that, I would say. What do you think? Let me know in the comments section. Tater Monkey is here, so that's cool. I think I'm not sure. Might be a racial slur or some. I'm not really sure what's. Anyway, continuing on with we gotta stop. We gotta stop Russia at all costs. We have to do that. Desiree said we should take out Putin. I disagree. That's very Lindsey Graham of her. It's also, but the good thing is if she lives in certain areas, she could say that on Facebook and be perfectly fine with it, because Facebook, this is from The Week on news.yahoo.com, so you know it's legit, Facebook to temporarily allow some posts calling for violence against Putin, Russia invaders. So there was some controversy going on. Some people said that, or the way this was framed originally is that people are now allowed to just call for the death of Russians, or at least the death of Russian leaders like Putin. You can just do that on Facebook. Facebook came out shortly after and clarified, and they said, no, only if you live in certain countries you can do this. So if you live in Ukraine, you can call for the death of these people on Facebook, but if you live outside of that area that's directly whatever, then you can't. Seems strange. Seems like it should be the same either way. Like, if the Ukrainians are suffering and dying at the hands of Russia, and the Ukrainians are allowed to say, hey, fuck that guy, then why can't everybody else? Like, if we see Ukrainians dying at the hands of Putin, why can't we say, hey, fuck that guy? No, the rules, man. They're arbitrary and they change by the day, and just gotta keep you guessing, no matter what. But Lindsey Graham should be okay, because he plays by the rules. You know, when he called for somebody to take out Putin. Moving on. Let's see what we got here. Oh, Russia. Russia's fighting back. I thought this was particularly amusing. Russia. So we've got these sanctions on Russia. We're like boycotting them left and right. Like, we're not. I think Facebook isn't allowing people in Russia. I've heard mixed things. I've heard that Facebook stopped allowing people in Russia to use Facebook, and I heard that Putin stopped allowing people in Russia to use Facebook. So I'm not sure which is which. But like different movies, different businesses aren't selling to Russia or buying from Russia. Blah blah blah. I mean, what a great way to ease up tensions than by punishing the Russian citizens. That's what you're doing. Putin can get this stuff. Right? I'm sure he doesn't have any issue getting his hands on whatever he wants. Be it digital, be it currency, be it oil, be it women, like anything that Putin wants. You know he can get it, right? So we're not really punishing him. We might slow down his Wednesday afternoon a little bit, but we're not really stopping him from living in the lap of luxury because the elitist's gonna elite. But in response to all of these sanctions and all of these things, Russia moves to legalize online media software piracy to get around sanctions, which, I mean, hate the guy all you want. That's pretty based. That's pretty dope. It's just like, well, you guys won't let us watch your movies? Fine. If we can't buy them, we'll just steal them. Like, we were stopping people from stealing your movies before. We were doing you a service, but now that you're not allowing us to buy them, I mean, they were there on the torrent sites the whole time, so we're just going to stop pressing charges against people who, do illegal things against our enemies. I thought that was pretty funny. So, if you live in Ukraine, you get free Wi-Fi and free guns. If you live in Russia, you get you can pirate software illegally, but legally now. And there was another point that I was gonna say, but it's gone. Whatever. So there's that. Now, people are calling everybody Russian assets, Russian whatevers. People like Whoopi Goldberg. She's back in the news again. The View, my competition, my direct competition, is back in the news because they're calling Tulsi Gabbard and Tucker Carlson basically traitors. And this is a fairly long clip, so we might jump through it a little bit, but I was trying to find the best part, and I kind of just liked the whole thing so much, and it tickled me in terrified ways that I just had to, I just feel like we got to play the whole thing. Yes, Jack Casey, elitists gonna elite. It's true. So we're gonna play this, and we'll just laugh at it together, and we'll see how much of it I actually play. And it's Twitter. You know the rules. The rules are it's not gonna play.
Our guest co-host is CNN political commentator and former White House communications director Alyssa Farah Griffin. Hello.
Why does she talk? Like, why does she bounce when she talks? Does she not is her head? Has she gotten so large that her head is just kind of fused to her body, so if she makes any gesture at all, her entire body has to bounce along with it?
So, Fox News'
Looks
host,
like yes.
Tucker Carlson, is apparently a big hit in Russia right now. Yeah. The website Mother Jones posted a leaked Kremlin war memo instructing Russian state media to play Tucker Carlson clips.
Jack Casey points out, I didn't even occur to me. She's wearing a shirt that says nope. Just nope. Yeah, I'm sure that it's kind of like John Waldenberger at the LPPA thing wearing the shirt that talks about sarcasm while he's trying to make his mic drop moment.
As much as possible.
Similar sizes,
and
too.
Tulsi Gabbard is being accused of spreading Russian false flag propaganda. Here's what they've both been saying about the war. Take a look.
Democrats in Washington have told you have a patriotic duty to hate Vladimir Putin. It's not a suggestion, it's a mandate. Anything less than hatred for Putin is treason. Hating Putin has become the central purpose of America's foreign policy. Secret biolabs? Like the secret biolabs Ukraine definitely doesn't have?
Notice how hardcore they clip that down, too. It's just like one sentence, next, one sentence, next, one sentence. Just get that. You don't have to hate Putin. Secret biolabs, scary stuff.
It has those? Yes, it does.
There are 25 to 30 U.S.-funded biolabs in Ukraine. According to the U.S. government, these biolabs are conducting research on dangerous pathogens. Now, like COVID, these pathogens know no borders. If they are inadvertently or purposely breached or compromised, they will quickly spread all throughout Europe, the United States, and the rest of the world, causing untold suffering and death.
So Mitt Romney claims Gabbard is pushing treasonous lies that could cost lives. So I'm just going to open it up to the table. What the hell's going on?
So I think Mitt Romney's absolutely right, by the way. So
they showed it just for a brief second. I'm not sure why, but Mitt Romney tweeted out, because Tulsi Gabbard went on Tucker Carlson. We're going to watch that as well, because I think it's important to hear what they actually said instead of the 3-second sound bites that The View wants to cherry pick. But Mitt Romney said Tulsi Gabbard is parroting false Russian propaganda. Her treasonous lies may well cost lives. And yes.
I'll open it up to the table. What the hell's going on?
So I think Mitt Romney's absolutely right, by the way. So what this is the Russians are spreading propaganda to try to create a pretext for potentially using chemical weapons against the Ukrainians.
Right.
So what they're parroting, what Tucker Carlson parrots every night on Fox News, what Tulsi Gabbard is spreading, is actually helping Putin get away with criminal acts against innocent Ukrainian civilians. It's horrifying. And what's so hard for me to understand, we've all been watching in horror as these people are being killed, mothers in maternity wings. Can you imagine taking the position of like, Putin, not so bad of a guy? It's just bizarre. It's un-American.
How do you suppose he gets away with that? I mean,
Also, I heard rumor that like there was a hospital bombing recently. I heard rumor that I don't know. Look into it. I'm not saying this for certain, but that the amounts of propaganda going around, you'd never know what to believe. But I heard that the hospital was actually evacuated, and they might have even been using it for the Azov battalion to stay in. Like that was their base or something that was bombed. And the Azov battalion, if you aren't familiar, is a bunch of Nazis, a bunch of literal Nazis. And I know literal Nazis. So Nazis means absolutely nothing anymore because we used it to define anything from Donald Trump to your uncle who wears a red hat over the last 4 to 6 years. They're all Nazis. Everything's Nazis. So that has no meaning. But even the phrase literal Nazis, we've used that so much that doesn't even mean anything. So when I say, hear me when I say literal, like actual, like give me a better word if you want, but Nazis, like believes the Nazi stuff. Nazis, not doesn't want completely open borders or doesn't like critical race theory type, that kind of Nazis. Like I'm talking Nazis. Look into the Azov battalion, AZOV battalion over there in Ukraine. A little sus, I'd say.
It's the most watched man in cable news. It's actually really scary.
I think
gets away with it? Putin or
Tucker. If there's a Tucker and Laura Ingraham and Tulsi Gabbard, all of them.
Listen, the Fox board of directors should really step in. If they call themselves patriots and they, it's not enough to be posting flags about Ukraine. There's a bunch of folks on that board of directors list, like my friend Paul Ryan, who I wish would be weighing in and saying we cannot be Russian state TV. At least not every hour.
But what's I guess for me, the question is, what is in it for someone like Tucker Carlson, right? I mean, is it money? Who's paying him that money? Yeah. I'm not making any allegations, but it's just
they think he has to be getting Tucker Carlson is saying there are biolabs in Ukraine, and we should not keep poking this bear because the United States has biolabs, much like the ones that were that COVID definitely didn't come out of. Biolabs or bioweapons and biotechnologies are being worked on there. We have reason to believe that now. It was like a crazy conspiracy theory, but we do have reason to believe it, and I'll get to that, to the evidence of that, what we have. But there's biolabs there, and we don't want to keep poking this Russian bear until they unleash something that our brains can't even fathom onto the world by bombing a COVID center or something like that. So that's the evil stuff that they're saying. Tucker is using, Tucker is saying that for money. I don't know who he's getting paid by exactly. Is Putin paying him directly? Because he's saying things that are very unpopular. So if he's saying that for money, why wouldn't he go more the route of CNN or The View? Wouldn't he, if he was trying to make money, wouldn't he just say what they're getting paid to say? I don't understand. But I guess it's money. And I guess Putin told some, in a briefing or something, he told people to play Tucker Carlson. Now, that is strange, sure, but maybe he's just hey, Tucker Carlson's right on this thing, and everybody else, CNN, is just saying, straight up, kill me. What's he supposed to do? Is he supposed to support people like Lindsey Graham who are calling for his assassination? Is he supposed to support The View, who well, we'll get to it, calling for the arrest of anybody who looks at the nuance of Russia? It seems like if Putin was going to want anything from the United States played over there, it would be at least the things that have a little bit of nuance in the situation and aren't just straight up anti-Russia, obviously. Come on.
It doesn't make sense that he would do this kind of thing. I mean, he also says that the United States helped encourage the Russian invasion. He said the United States engineered a coup in Ukraine in the name of democracy. He, as we just mentioned, confirmed who's paying him that money. Yeah. I'm not making any allegations, but it doesn't make sense that he would do this kind of thing. I mean, he also says that the United States helped encourage the Russian invasion. He said the United States engineered a coup in Ukraine in the name of democracy. He, as we just mentioned, confirmed these Russian claims about bioweapons. And he's characterizing this situation as a border dispute.
Where's the lie?
And so what
Oh my God, it is a border dispute. It is. Like, it's not sure, that might be kind of downplaying it, but it is a border dispute. That's not false information.
In it for him. I know that he's visited Moscow and other places, and you can tell me in my ear if I'm wrong about that, but I just don't understand what the impetus is.
I hope he's planning to move to Moscow because he's not going to be welcome here for much longer.
Didn't like half these people say that they were moving to Canada if Trump won in 2016? Why are you even here?
I think...
do his viewers like it?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's ratings.
Oh, I don't know. They get way better ratings than we do. Maybe they like it. I don't know. I'm going to jump ahead a little bit to the actual meat
And
here.
the fact that we're giving her oxygen is what makes her relevant.
Oh,
that
yeah.
We're talking
She
about
calls
her on
out
Hot Topics.
Tulsi, and she's like, Tulsi's... Actually, I got to play it because it's so
We're
funny.
discussing it because I think to myself, who is this woman? She's she's no longer in Congress. She's a failed presidential candidate. Yeah. She only practically exists on Twitter.
Is she talking about Tulsi Gabbard or Hillary Clinton? I don't know, but you notice that they don't use the same stuff against Hillary Clinton because Hillary Clinton fucking loves war. That's where they draw the line. Once you're anti-war, then you're the assets. You're the terrorist yourself.
The fact that we're giving her oxygen is what makes her relevant, that we're talking about her on Hot Topics. But on the other hand, how do you not call out something that is repeating false Russian propaganda that has been brought down?
They used to arrest people for doing stuff like this. If they thought you were colluding with a Russian agent, if they thought you were putting out information or taking information and handing over to Russia. They used to actually investigate stuff.
What evidence do you have that they're taking information and handing it over to Russia? Because they said the thing that doesn't line up with your script? Because they got a little spicy with their nuance? Their scary nuance? So you want them to be arrested?
Like this, and I guess now, there seems to be no bars, and people are not being told to hate Putin. Putin doesn't need a reason to be hated. It's pretty much clear.
He started a war.
He started an unnecessary war
this is kind
that
of
nobody
like,
wanted.
isn't this contributing to the death and destruction of the country and the civilians there?
Well, this is why I say, how can they pat themselves on the back and say, good job?
Well,
when you know he just blew up a
Who?
hospital with children.
Who is she even talking about? Who's patting themselves on the back and saying good job? Fox for saying, hey, maybe we should be careful here? That's the dangerous thing, is, hey, maybe we should be careful here.
Viewers know it. They see it.
Fox viewers do know it. My concern also is, do the Russian people don't know it?
No.
I know this weekend, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think Instagram was taken down in Russia. They really are. They almost have a digital curtain now over all information coming out of Russia. And I think a lot of...
And us putting sanctions up and us, like, boycotting everything they do doesn't really help us get the information to them or from them, right? Like, it doesn't only hurt us to not know what's going on in Russia. It hurts the Russian citizens to not know what the rest of us are saying too. Probably way more, because that would severely, it could sway their opinion of their dear leader. I don't know. But, we're blocking. That's the thing. They're saying that Russia is blocking all this communication. I would believe probably more that, Facebook is the one responsible, or Instagram is the one responsible for the cutoff there, but I don't know.
They've been reporting they believe that this war is some sort of great mission.
They think it's a peacekeeping mission because that's what's being reported on state
Except
TV.
for the people who are out protesting.
But right, but in the same way,
Yes.
that it almost
Yes.
seems
I
impossible.
love how Whoopi just says obvious things and then acts like it's like, see, yeah, the people out protesting, they don't agree. Yeah, oh yeah, well said.
To believe, and then you realize there's people in America who think January 6th was, you know, some sort of patriotic act.
Oh, you got to bring it back to that. It's everything's January 6th, right? 9/11 wasn't bad enough, or wasn't quite as bad as January 6th. January 6th was 9/11 times 10. Actual politicians have said that such nonsense, and now we're bringing January 6th into Ukraine which is a strange thing to bring up because everything is, or nothing is ever as bad as January 6th. But now they're like, see, this is like January 6th. But wait, we can't say that the Ukraine thing is not as bad as January 6th because the Ukraine thing is pretty bad. And yeah, whatever. So I don't know. They're just whatever. They're talking in circles and being menopausal or something. I don't know. So what exactly did Tucker Carlson and Tulsi Gabbard say? Here's this. Maybe we can play this on double speed since it's on YouTube, and we can keep moving here. So this is Tucker Carlson and Tulsi Gabbard, the very dangerous, treasonous people that they are.
One of the few adults we know in the foreign policy realm is Tulsi Gabbard, the former member of Congress from Hawaii. We're happy to have her join us tonight. Congressman, thanks so much for coming on. So it's without even going into what they told us was Russian disinformation is actually true. How concerned are you that Torian Nuland, who's overseeing this war, has just admitted there are unsecured bioagents, dangerous bioagents in Ukraine?
I'm extremely concerned, as should be every American and everyone in the world. The seriousness of this situation really can't be overstated. First of all, she didn't say no when she was asked by Marco Rubio about there being biological or chemical weapons in Ukraine. So if there were or are, obviously that would be a violation of the Biological Weapons Convention. Number two.
So it seems like they're finding out about the there's been rumors of it and conspiracy theories about it, but they're finding out about it at the same time as the rest of the world because this. We'll jump back to that, but here's what they're referring to. This is Marco Rubio talking to Victoria Nuland on the biolabs in Ukraine.
We have a minute left. Let me ask you.
This is from March 8th.
Does Ukraine have chemical or biological weapons?
Ukraine has biological research facilities, which, in fact, we are now quite concerned Russian troops, Russian forces may be seeking to...
So what she's saying is, yes, we're not calling them weapons necessarily, but we do have, or Ukraine does have biological labs. And if you try and look this up, does Ukraine, or does the United States have biolabs in Ukraine? Or does Ukraine have biolabs that the United States has involvement in? It'll say, no, the United States does not have our biolabs in Ukraine. So you see the wordplay still some more. They're just like... We don't have them, just like Fauci didn't own the lab in Wuhan, so obviously there's nothing there to see. But according to Victoria Nuland, there are biolabs in Ukraine that might be of concern.
Gain control of, so we are working with the Ukrainians on how they can prevent any of those research materials from falling into the hands of Russian forces should they approach.
I'm sure you're aware that the Russian propaganda groups are already putting out there all kinds of information about how they've uncovered a plot by the Ukrainians to release biological weapons in the country and with NATO's coordination. If there's a biological or chemical weapon incident or attack inside of Ukraine, is there any doubt in your mind that 100% it would be the Russians that would be behind it?
There is no doubt in my mind, Senator, and it is classic Russian technique to blame.
So he says Russia is already telling people that if something happens in Ukraine, like they're putting out this propaganda that's pre-blaming Ukraine if something happens with a biolab. So they're saying if Ukraine does something, or if something happens, it was Ukraine, and they're going to blame us for it. Russia's putting that out. And Marco Rubio asks, so if that does happen, do you believe that it's Russia doing it? And she's like, yes, 100%. I believe that it would have to be Russia doing it. They have a history of being dishonest. And so it's like we're doing the exact same thing. So we've got Russia saying to Ukraine, or saying the Ukrainians are going to stage something or stage a false flag and blame it on Russia. We've got the United States saying Russia's going to stage something and blame it on Ukraine. And I believe that we have financial investments in these labs as well, even though we're not supposed to. Surprise! But nothing will happen. Nobody will see any consequences from this, as we all know. Whatever happened to Fauci anyway? I'm sure he's around here somewhere. He's probably hanging out at one of these biolabs, but anyway.
The other guy, what they're planning to do themselves.
Last question.
So projecting. She's saying Russia's going to do this, and if that happens, you'll know it's Russia because Russia does that. You know who else does that? The United States. The United States does it a lot. We do it a lot. We do it a lot, but it's definitely Russia this time, and we're getting ahead of that. So it's like the propaganda warfare sees no end, because if something happens, like in this love triangle that is Russia, Ukraine, and the United States, we're all blaming each other for all of it.
I am certain that the Russians were looking at their reserves as a way to buffer sanctions. Do you know how, now that we've sanctioned the central bank along with others?
All right, that's on to other stuff. But that's what they're referring to. So it has been admitted there are biolabs in Ukraine. And Whoopi is saying, in her brilliance, she is saying Tulsi Gabbard and Tucker Carlson are treasonous and should be arrested or at least investigated for suggesting that there are biolabs in Ukraine.
They're categorically been trying to hide this, as you've laid out very, very well. And then once they were found out, rather than saying, hey, you know what, this is a critical emergency, it's a crisis, we have these pathogens in the midst of a war zone, not just in one location, but between 20 and 30 labs in Ukraine. This is a global crisis, we're going to take action immediately. This is how a responsible leader would react given the crisis of this moment. But instead, what did they do? Her response to Senator Rubio was immediately start pointing fingers. We're going to preemptively start the blame game should anything happen to these pathogens and who knows what is going on in these labs. Before anything bad happens, just say, you know what, it's the bad guys. It's the bad guys who are responsible for this. It is the height of irresponsibility, their response to this, the fact that they're covering it up, the fact that they aren't doing really what needs to be done. Because unless this war in Ukraine ends right now, ends tonight, we face a very real certainty that one or more of these labs will be compromised, will be breached, and it won't just be the people of Ukraine who are impacted. We could face another global crisis when you look at a pathogen that could be released. We just went through this with COVID. We can't have forgotten this already.
And once again, agencies in the U.S. government, without our knowledge, are secretly funding research that imperils the world, and no one is ever punished for it. So speaking of no one ever punished, I wanted to get reaction to this. 27 foreign policy heavyweights just signed an open letter calling for what they call a, quote, limited no-fly zone over Ukraine. Some of the people who signed it include...
All right, so we already talked about that. You see the point. You see the game that they play. You see the way that they twist these things. And I don't even necessarily... I don't trust Tucker Carlson or Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard's a pretty decent Democrat, and that's all. She was coming out with some pro-war shit toward the beginning of this. Some, fear-mongering stuff. And, I don't trust her. She's good. She's typically good on war, especially for a Democrat these days. Remember when the Democrats were anti-war? I mean, that was like my childhood. They were like the free-loving hippies or something, or at least that's how the media portrayed them. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, Biden's bombing U.S. citizens and stuff. Whatever. Very anti-war crowd over there. But anyway, there's, at risk of being pulled off YouTube, I will say, according to, what's-her-face? According to Victoria Nolan, there are biolabs in Ukraine. That is not a conspiracy theory, according to her. It's not me saying it, so leave me out of this. But they're already preemptively planning the next move there. Anyway, we are pushing a friggin' 2 hours. Good Lord. We're going to talk, I'm going to save one of these. We're going to talk about Volodymyr Zelensky's history and some more reasons why I don't trust him. We're going to save that, push it to the back end in the after party because it's fascinating, but hey, we don't always have time for everything here. Actor. He was an actor, comedian, lots of weird stuff. It's not just that either. Sorry, I'm trying to get this out of the way so we can watch it over there. If you want to come watch it with us, go join the Patreon now. So you can be in there for the party. But the after party will start shortly after this. But we do have to talk about Jussie Smollett. And we do have a bunch of other stuff to talk about back there. But we'll save Mr. Zelensky for that. And here's Russell Brand's take on all of this. He's got a similar take to me. I just thought that this was good thing to wrap up that conversation on, because Russell Brand is getting attacked as a right-winger, which is laughable. And, of course, he's a Putin asset as well. So here's what he had to say.
We think and feel, because we've all had unique experiences, and we can't afford lazy labels. Like being right-wing or left-wing, that just used to be a thing. Now it's like a sort of an attempt to smear, slander, and take someone down. I know what this is. I've been in the media a long time. This is an attempt to say you can't trust Russell Brand, Russell Brand's unreliable, Russell Brand's a right-wing figure, and to manage those figures. I mean, this is pretty much the same as when they produced that list of doctors, half of whom were vets. Now they're producing a list of right-wing guests, and one of them is me. Well, let me tell you some things I believe in. I believe that big tech companies should be really strongly regulated and broken down. I believe that massive companies should pay their taxes in the countries that they make money from. I believe that public health workers, firefighters, police officers, people that do jobs that put their own lives on the line should be properly paid, properly supported, properly trained. I believe that the most vulnerable people in society, the mentally ill, drug addicts, the vulnerable, should be looked after and taken care of. I believe that small businesses should be given every opportunity to thrive. I believe that communities should be run by the people that live in them, and however you identify, sexually, racially, religiously, that's your business, your right. You should be whoever you want to be. That all of us should allow one another to be who we are and get on with it. And that we should have a media that tries its best to give us plain facts and allows us to sort it out among ourselves through plain, honest, open discourse, not elevates and amplifies particular narratives to turn us against one another so that they continue to profit from their relationships with big pharma and big business while we're squabbling among one another. Here on this channel, we're not going to allow that to happen. We're going to continue to tell you the truth because we trust in your ability to judge for yourself what's real and what's true, which voices are out to support you and which voices are out to get you. You know, like, so when there was stories about me being an anti-vax person, like, as I always say on this channel, your life is your life. I believe in the same.
Yeah, so there's that. Just Russell Brand being based. I don't know what happened to that guy. I don't know what snapped in his brain that took him from being a crazy lefty. Like, I don't agree with everything he said, obviously. There are political differences, but he's absolutely right. You're not allowed to see nuance. You're only allowed to look at the world in black and white, Russia or Ukraine. Yeah, that's all we've got anymore. Anyway, we have to talk about Jussie. Justice for Jussie. Justice has been passed for Jussie. Sorry, I spent way too much time on that Ukraine stuff for as little as was actually said. But so to wrap that up, to put a nice little bow on that, The View is calling for people to be arrested who look at nuance. That's it. That's where we're at. That's The View calling for investigations and arrests on people who don't want to go to war, who don't want biolabs to be bombed, who don't want nuclear war to break out. That's bad today, and they should be arrested for treason. Anyway, speaking of being arrested for lies and slander and bullshit, Jussie Smollett, it happened. It happened. Here's so there's a big long breakdown. Like, I wanted to play this entire thing, but we definitely don't have time for that. But everything the judge said leading up to Jussie Smollett's his sentencing, it was beautiful. He's just like, Jussie, you were like this social justice warrior, like noble man working for the cause of sorry, my brain's failing. Equality and rights and civil rights and all these things. You have a long history of that and working for gay rights and things too. Like you're double dip. And then you got bored, and so you faked, or you weren't getting enough attention, so you faked something that set back the I guess civil rights movements, or like the social justice movements, let's say. You set all their like all the good things, if you can find them, all the good things to come out of the social justice warrior movement, you set that all back by staging your own hate crime, and which I think it's funny that the whole lynching bill thing passed at the same time as this, and I posted, well, Jussie Smollett should be innocent because the judge didn't realize that lynching wasn't a crime at the time that Jussie Smollett tried to hang himself. But now it is, so it'll be even more of a hate crime when Jussie hangs himself in prison. But Anyway, we'll watch a little bit of this. He bashes the shit out of Jussie Smollett. He's like, your name is like a joke and you're synonymous with lies or something like that. It was pretty beautiful and brutal. And the dude was like, he's right. The judge is right to be pissed. Like, this guy wasted everyone's time and resources just for his own selfish pleasure, and now he's reaping the benefit of it. So here's a bit of that. We might have to jump through this because we got to get out of here. We got to get to the after party. But here's this.
But I'm looking at everything in
Oh, come on.
totality.
All right.
And I agree. It was told to me today. You can't judge everybody by one bad thing they've done in their life. I don't know if it's the only bad thing, but it's the only bad thing that I'm concerned about now. And that you do have quite a record of real community service and quite a record of attaching with people. There is a lot of mitigation in this case as well. And I'm mindful of the pleas of mercy, particularly from people that are in the arena of dealing with social justice issues, that are fighting, seriously fighting, not playing around, not doing games like you were doing, but seriously fighting for matters involving hate crimes of all sorts. And they're asking you for mercy as well. So I'm trying to consider who you are as a person, how you got here, how somehow you strayed away from your family values, you let that dark, narcissistic, selfish, and arrogant side come out, and you persisted with it for years on this case. I'm fashioning the following sentence, and here's your sentence. I'm sentencing you to 30 months felony probation, and the probation is going to be to this court. You're going to be allowed to travel wherever you want. You do not have to live in the state of Illinois. You can report by phone. I know that if you're going to try to make a living and do some of the things you do, you may have to go to other places, New York and Los Angeles. You can do those things. You will pay restitution to the city of Chicago in the amount of $120,106. You are fined $25,000, which is the maximum fine. And you will spend the first 150 days of your sentence in the Cook County Jail. And that will start today, right here, right now. Mr. Smollett.
Get up, get out of here,
The jury
go to
found you
jail.
guilty, and I've sentenced you as I have.
And then the judge screamed, "This is MAGA courtroom," and said, "I'm gonna throw your black ass in jail, you gay." I mean, I was expecting CNN to report on it in that way. Thankfully, lying assholes as they are, they haven't gone to that extreme yet. But yeah.
You have the right to appeal the findings and rulings of the court or ask your sentence be modified. To do those things, you need to file a notice of appeal in writing within 30 days. You may also file a motion to modify your sentence, which would have to be filed in writing within 30 days. Anything not stated in those filings are waived for purposes of appeal. If you cannot afford lawyers or transcripts, they would be provided for your charge. Do you have any questions?
No, I would just like to say to Your Honor that I am not suicidal. That's what I was about to say.
Okay.
I am not suicidal.
Okay.
I am not suicidal. I am innocent.
You can see the lady next to him who's on his team is like tapping him like, "Please stop, this is weird." So if you're not watching, if you haven't seen this, you need to watch this. This is absolutely batshit crazy. The sentence is the sentence is passed, and Jussie Smollett just pulls down his mask and he's like, "I would just like to say I'm not suicidal." And you can tell it's acting, and it's not that great of acting, but he's trying to make us believe that he is at risk of being suicided like Jeffrey Epstein in jail, which I think is, pretty fascinating. That he's like starting a conspiracy theory around himself if anything happens to him. Very, very John McAfee-ish, but only. We have reason to believe that John McAfee would be suicided, and we don't have any of that for Jussie Smollett unless he kills himself. Because the only person so far that has threatened Jussie Smollett's life is Jussie Smollett, when he paid 2 large Nigerian men to beat the shit out of him and put a shoestring around his neck. So, man, like, how unhinged do you have to be? How much of a pathological bullshitter do you have to be? Like, there is no redemption arc for this guy at all at this point. Like, he completely screwed everything up, screwed his entire life up, and on his way out, he's still so fucking narcissistic that he's like, "Guys, they're gonna try and kill me in jail." Like, come on, dude. Give me a break. I'm not suicidal. And then you see the emotions flare up suddenly when he realizes that the judge isn't like impressed and nobody's like in shock and awe that this narcissist would say such a narcissistic douchebag thing. But
Okay.
I am not suicidal. I am innocent. And
please
I am
stop.
not suicidal. If I did this, then it means
The lady stands up. She's like, all right, we're done here. Please, somebody make him
I
stop.
stuck my fist in the fears of black Americans in this country for over 400 years and the fears of the LGBTQ community. Your Honor, I respect you and I respect the jury, but I did not do this. And I am not suicidal.
My God.
If anything happens to me when I go in there, I did not do it to myself. And you must all know that.
So we're not supposed to believe that you would, harm yourself ever. You might, put a noose around your own neck and pay people to beat you up, but you would never, you're not suicidal. You're only career suicidal. You're only, joy suicidal. You're only, man, how much delusion do you have to live under? Do you guys, let me know what you think. Do you guys actually think that he is, has he lied so much that he's convinced himself to believe the lie, and he's so crazy and paranoid that he's actually thinks that he's going to be suicided? I personally, I think it's he seems like the type to do crazy stunts to get attention. Just something in me makes me feel that way, but it could just be me.
I respect you, Your Honor. I respect your decision. Jail time. I am not suicidal.
He didn't rehearse either, by the way. I respect you, Your Honor, but jail time. I'm not suicidal. You're not even saying sentences now.
Mr. Uche, let me inquire, are there any post-sentencing motions you care to present right now?
Yes, Judge.
It gets worse,
Yes,
by the way.
Ms. Widow.
The defense would wish to present a motion to reconsider sentence and file it in stanter.
All right, it is timely filed.
Yes, Desiree. He wants everyone talking about him, and yes, it's working. If it wasn't so gosh darn amusing, then I wouldn't be. If he just got sentenced, this would be a much shorter time. But hey, I don't think what he was going for is for us to laugh at his lunacy.
And
maybe I'm
let me
wrong.
say, I've obviously considered the sentence at great length, and it's timely filed, so it's preserved for purposes of appeal. Motion to reconsider sentence is respectfully denied. And is there another?
Remember when I said this was going to be a short episode?
Anything else?
Remember when I said I was lying?
Is there going to be a notice of appeal filed?
Yes, Judge. We're filing a notice of appeal. We're going to be emailing to the court right now, to the office.
You're doing it in stanter, and are you going to be handling the appeal?
Judge, as of now, yes.
Well, you have to commit to handling the appeal for the appellate court. Okay.
As of now, yes. She's like, we're going to appeal. He's like, are you going to be the one representing him in the appeal? And he's like, as of now, yes. That means I want to appeal, but I really don't want to keep doing this. This is really stupid, but it's my job. And the judge is like, well, you got to kind of commit, bud, because that's how this thing works. And he's like, okay, fine. Yeah, I guess. Fine. I'll keep dragging this out.
Appeal may be filed. Charlotte, now I need the prosecutors to work with Charlotte, the probation officer, to work out probation specifications with the conditions I've just explained. 150 days in the county jail, the restitution, the fines. Oh, and also statutory DNA and costs are ordered as well. That's statutory. So you have to fill out the probation specifications, and I'm going to get somebody to help you do that, but we need to get that done in stanter. Anything else today? Yes.
Your Honor, in light of the notice of appeal, we would ask that you suspend the jail sentence in light of the
Do what?
filing of the notice of appeal.
Did I do what?
Suspend the jail sentence in light of the notice of filing of appeal.
That will be respectfully denied.
No.
Yes,
no.
sir.
I said right now.
Mr. Lewis.
And of course, I knew you were going to appeal. I said it's effective right now. So thank you for asking. Please take this guy and get out of here.
No, I'm not staying. No. The wheels of justice turn slowly, and sometimes the hammer of justice has to fall, and it's falling right here, right now. I'm not staying this. This happens right here, right now.
Don't forget, guys, he's not suicidal. Oh, there goes the mask. Here it comes. Gotta make sure you know.
Yeah, I'll talk to you about it. I'll give you.
Wait for it.
Okay. All right. Any other matters to come before the court today?
All right.
All right. Defendants remanded to the custody of sheriff. Court is adjourned.
Oh, they cut the audio. Are you kidding me? Come on. We waited all this way for nothing. He goes out with a fist in the air, and he keeps just yelling that he's not suicidal, and he gets aggressive about it. He's like, I'm not suicidal. And I think the lady tells him to shut up. Please stop talking. You're making this worse. But that's that. That's Jussie for you. Oh, Jussie. You had a good run, bud. You were in that show that some people watched. And then you're real star of stage and screen. The stage being, of course, CNN and MSNBC and Fox and all the corporate media. That's the stage. The world is a stage, and you have played it well, but not quite well enough. So, good. Hashtag justice for Jussie. Good job, mister. So, it doesn't end there, unfortunately. Some people are still on Jussie Smollett's side. We have actress Taraji P. Henson. I'm not sure who she is, but she compared Jussie Smollett to Emmett Till. Emmett Till, who, if you're not familiar, he was a 14-year-old black boy who was lynched after looking at a white woman in a grocery store. This is back in the 1950s. Made her uncomfortable. Her comments are drawing a lot of criticism and condemnation. Obviously, they would. How does this relate at all to Emmett Till? Jussie Smollett doesn't even like women. Jussie Smollett whistled at a subway and then got attacked at 2 a.m. In Chicago in the winter in a blizzard, and got a noose thrown around his neck and bleach poured on him and told this is MAGA country, and then some slurs. It's all fake, and we all knew that from the beginning. And yeah, some people still, just like they love COVID, they love their Jussie. And they're going to drag Emmett Till into this as though that somehow relates. And finishing up from the New York Post, Jussie Smollett's legal team demands emergency release as family shares threatening call. So there's calls about Jussie. Jussie Smollett's lawyer wanted the disgraced actor immediately sprung from jail, claiming he and his family are the target of vicious threats. Smollett's legal team filed the emergency motion Monday asking the court to postpone his 5-month sentence at Chicago's Cook County Jail while they work to appeal his conviction on 5 counts of felony disorderly conduct for lying to police. The filing argues Smollett's life is at risk because he's been the target of vicious threats on social media and online. Hate, quote, no doubt reflects the hatred and wish for physical harm towards Smollett, which he may experience during incarceration. Now, if there are people online and out and about in the real world not locked up in jail who are making threats, I mean, maybe they are, maybe they aren't. Either way, if they're making them, they're not in jail. So he's probably safe from them, I would imagine. I'm guessing people in jail don't like him, but they're also mostly criminals, I would imagine. And what he did, though scummy, wasn't like, it's not like he like raped a kid or something. Yeah, I mean, he did something really stupid. He's only in there for 150 days. He's in county jail. This isn't like prison sentence, like hard time or anything. This dude is such a fucking poser. It's so laughable. Quote, I hope what they do to that guy in jail. Here's what they're going to do, right? They're going to take, so this is, let me see. One of Smollett's siblings has also been bombarded with disturbing phone calls after providing their phone numbers as the convicted felon's emergency contact when he entered the jail system, a rep told the Post. So apparently people from the jail are calling Jussie's family and saying, I hope what they do to that guy in jail, here's what they're going to do, right? They're going to take a broom handle and take that little expletive, shove it in there, and he's going to go shrieking sound, a man was heard saying in the call, per a recording shared by the actor's team. Sorry, but your credibility at this point doesn't really hold a whole lot of water, because you're defending a guy that lied to everyone. You're defending a guy who his crime is lying about fake attacks. So pardon me if I need a little bit more evidence than somebody on his team made up a really bad, bad threat. Maybe it's real. Maybe it is. I'm sorry, but it's not a get out of jail free card just because people don't like you. That kind of defeats the purpose a little bit, I would imagine. But hey, what do I know? All right, so that's it for today, guys. We already went for, good Lord, like well over 2. well over 2 hours, and we're going to do another one. So hang in there, and we're going to be right back with the after party. If you love this so much that you just need more of it in your life, then come on over, join the Downers Club at patreon.com/thesystemsdown, and we're going to talk about some things that are, less mainstream topics, some horrifying things, some conspiratorial things like liquefying humans and torturing people in their brain, though, with drugs. Crazy, crazy shit over there. So if you want the weirder stuff, if you want the more raw and offensive stuff, come on over, join the Downers Club at patreon.com/thesystemsdown. And again, if you sign up even at only the $1 level, you can listen to the after party while it's live. But once the live stream is over, it's only the $5 level, and that is only the cost of one super chat. So if you support this, YouTube doesn't let me super chat. They don't like the things I have to say. But if you support this and you want more of it, even if you don't want more of it, but you want to support it, patreon.com/thesystemsdown. Join the Downers Club. Join me over there. Share the show with your friends and do all the things. I know it's not the most shareable show. It's like long and it's like uncomfortable. It's kind of my thing. It's fine. But I hope you've enjoyed this. Thanks for hanging out here on the main feed, and let me know what you think about things happening in the world. You can email me at dan@tsidpod.com. You can hit me up on Twitter at tsidpod. You can even snail mail me. You can send me physical mail. You can send me like gold and silver and jewelry and diamonds and all sorts of amazing things. Just drop me a snail mail line at P.O. Box 84, Aledo, Illinois, 61231. Do that, and I'll love you forever. You can also call in and leave a voicemail. I haven't checked it in a while. Maybe we'll do that in the after party. I'm not sure. But haven't checked it in a while, but you can call in at 309-716-3818. Leave a voicemail, and I will play it on the air if I find it in time. But thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for being awesome. Please, just keep your mind open. Stay humble. Keep your mind open. Look at the world around you. See the nuance, and see, more than seeing the nuance, see the way that people would have you believe that there isn't any. Like, pay really close attention to the way that they're twisting this, because they're speaking in such definitives on all sides of this thing, especially the war stuff. Like, that's when you really gotta focus. You really gotta do some digging and pay really close attention, because there are people that really want you to believe something. Now, is that something true, or are they just trying to scare you into believing that it's true? Because they're gonna threaten you with labels, with accusations, with possibly jail time if you see the nuance and start talking about it. So I know that's not the best way not the best sales pitch for speaking the truth, but do it anyway. And I'll have your back to the best of my abilities. And if we're all doing it, they can only lie so much. But keep doing it. Be bad. Have fun. Enjoy the world. And mostly, go out and enjoy your life and hug a friend. And, it's beautiful weather. Don't let the stuff eat your life. I don't. It's Wednesday, so that's when we get dark. We get fun. But thank you guys for being here. I'll talk to you in the after party here in just a moment. But come on over there, and we'll keep this party going until next time. And next time will be probably next Wednesday. Got a lot of shit going on. Next Wednesday, at the very least, if not sooner, I will be back here doing this all over again and letting you know what is happening in the apocalypse. Until then, please continue to question everything, stay uncomfortable, and I will talk to you then. Peace. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe on your way out and help us change the world one uncomfortable conversation at a time. And if you like what you hear and you want to hear more, go join the Downers Club at patreon.com/thesystemsdown for bonus episodes of the show every single week. Until next time, please continue to question everything, stay uncomfortable, and I'll talk to you then. Thanks.
This has been a Goulash Media production. GoulashMedia.net.
This concludes our broadcast day. Click.